I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts about WordPress in 5 years, your personal opinion?
I don't think it's going anywhere fast. I mean, it's only progressing. You've got the things with, you saw the announcement from Automatic that James LePage and his team, the AI team, are now
Mm,
going to be situated in an office.
mm,
So that because they need to be able to tap each other on the shoulder, not virtually. They need to be there because the conversations
mm,
are happening very, very quickly. The asynchronous conversations don't work when you're dealing with something that's moving very, very fast. I mean, yeah,
mm.
have you ever known a product or a service or a thing that moves at the speed of AI? It's literally moving at the speed of light.
From launching a marketplace that served over 100,000 WordPress professionals to co-founding AI tools for the modern web, today's guest has helped shape how WordPress is built, sold, and supported. Welcome to WP Legends. I'm Gautam, the co-founder of Seahawk Media, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Andrew Palmer, a true veteran of the WordPress space with a deep legacy in both product and community building. Between 2015 and 2019, Andrew launched and scaled Elegant Marketplace, a thriving platform for Divi and WordPress designers that grew to serve over 100,000 users before being acquired by InMotion Hosting. He credits its success to the incredible community of creators and contributors who brought it to life. Since then, Andrew has gone to co-found Bertha AI, one of the first native AI writing assistants for WordPress, and is a key leader at Atorim, heading up enterprise sales and customer success. Most recently, he's helped spearhead Atorim's AI rollout, introducing intelligent agents designed to revolutionize how agents handle SEO, design, copywriting, debugging, and a lot more. Today, we'll unpack Andrew's journey across WordPress entrepreneurship, the rise of agency focused AI, and what's next for creative workflows. Andrew, welcome to WP Legends. Let's rewind to the early days.
Well, the early days were HTML. Went to college on a night school. I was in the printing business, had a fairly successful career. Thanks for an amazing introduction. Heading
Pleasure.
up sales and etc. and leading the AI. That's my CEO, my boss, Vito Peleg, that's really doing that. But obviously, we tied together with Bertha AI. Just a little correction on that one. But
Mm,
yeah, printing, creative agency. Everybody who's ever seen me on a podcast, thanks for having me on yours, by the way, knows my history really. But so we can give some links at the end to say why I did all the things, and it was community based. So I wanted to help.
mm,
It's in my DNA to help people, and that sounds cliched and whatever, but from printing, helping people to advertise their businesses, yes, getting paid for it, of course. From
mhm,
supplying plugins, from helping plugin developers that really didn't want to do it. My main man, Sean Barton, who built all the plugins that I asked him to build,
mhm,
over 27 of them, and then I had another 10 that I built myself. Or 20 actually, 47 plugins I had in the end. Sean didn't want to do it. It took me 18 months bashing him on the head, say, I want this and I want to sell it in Elegant Marketplace. And a year later, he was $150,000 richer, on a $10 plugin. So, these kind of, I helped him get up and, really get his house in order and all kinds of that because he had a big family to support. But it's not about the money generally or mostly, but it's about helping people. It's about building Elegant Marketplace, which I did with six others to begin with. Four people went early days because it was very, very hard work. Built up a Facebook group, which is now the Elegant Themes Facebook group for various
mhm,
reasons.
mhm,
And built that up from 2,000 to 30,000 with my now unfortunately passed away partner. But
mhm,
the general feeling was help first,
mhm.
and if you love what you do, you'll get loved back. That's
I know.
basically
I
the
agree with you
yeah
on this, by the way. You
crazy,
do good work. You do good work. Money will follow sooner than
yeah,
later. I just know that. I think that's the
yeah,
philosophy Seahawk Media also follows. We
sure,
have been always running after reviews. My true greed at our own agency, and I keep on telling my team of 75 plus and growing, just focus on reviews. Money will follow. Your promotions will follow. Your designations will improve from
yeah,
customer success to VPs and lot more. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
I hear you. So here's a
And
question.
that, yeah,
So I
go.
have a question. So you moved from a plugin entrepreneur to an agency, a success manager, and whatnot at Atrium, and your current role at Atrium. So, like, what inspired that move? You could have bought another plugin, like you could have continued the journey. What was like your personal decisions, maybe, or some other reasons?
No, it wasn't anything. I retired in December last year. I sold
Oh
everything,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
including my. I was very honoured to be the first investor in Atrium as well, the first
Oh,
outside investor apart from Vito,
amazing.
and Jerome, who worked very hard on WP Feedback back in the day, 2019, when they were punting that
Mm,
around. Managed to sell a good few
mm,
on Elegant
mm,
Marketplace as well. Again, another plugin
mm,
developer that I kind of said, look, you've got a
mm.
thousand people in your email list. I've got
Yeah.
63,000 plus. Let's see what it goes. So that helped. That gave them some runway. And about 3 years ago, they were looking for investors, and I said, "Yeah, okay, I'm happy. That'll do." Then they did a raise and got more investors. And last December, I basically decided to give up on the web world. I'm near retirement age in the UK. They keep moving that goalpost, but and I just thought, you know what, I want to do. I want to do what my passion is, which is restaurants. Let's open a restaurant, have it for 6 months, sell it, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what I like to do. I like to build a business up and sell it, not necessarily
Mm.
for a profit, but generally just to do it. Because that's where I get my feeling of success. Build a business up, build the people up within the business, either sell it to them or sell it to another
I
investor,
hear
and
you.
that's a great thing. And I literally was on a beach in Spain, and Vito gave me a call and said, "You can't. I don't want you to retire. I'm looking for a CS guy. Your customer success. You've got a great reputation for being support." So I said, "Yeah, as long as I get interviewed, because I don't want it to be a shoe-in." So I got interviewed by the past head of sales then, and I said, if he doesn't feel 100% that I'm right for the team, I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
And so he did. He thought I was 100% right for the team, and here I am. So customer success, which I'd never done before, as a formal role. So there's a lot of learning there, CRMs and scripting and lots of things, and follow the path
Yes.
and all that kind of stuff. So I found that very
Yes.
interesting. Managed to upgrade a few people, save a few people from churning, upgrade people that were on the LTDs and all that kind of stuff. Not many, but enough to make a difference. And then we changed the way we sell stuff, or whatever. And Vito said that, I want you to go into the different, do it for me sales and enterprise
Yes.
and
At Atrium.
um,
Yes.
partnerships and things like that at Atrium. So that's what I'm at Atrium. That's what I'm doing. And my boss is now Radost, who is got a great reputation from SiteGround. Then went off into Dreamix, which was a software sales company. So she got phenomenal experience in sales. So yeah, I'm enjoying it and buzzing it. To say I head it up is a kind of a little tiny bit of exaggeration, because I am the only one. So I suppose I am heading up the sales for Diffin, but I'm in charge of getting in the hosts and making sure that we can really get them to realize that they're leaving money on the table by not having a do it for me opportunity, and plus care plans and all the little services we offer as well, not just the software. So if they interested in the software, if they've got their own different plan, that's great. If they haven't got a different plan, we kind of play the playbook, how it rolls. Diffin is there for the smaller websites and for people that are the SMBs that are having difficulty building their own websites. So yeah, I'm loving it. And the 30 years agency and creative experience is really helping as well. I think
Of
that's what
course.
that's what I add.
Needless
That's
to
what I bring
say.
to the party, really. Yeah. So
Yes, yes,
that's it.
absolutely. You've been dancing with WordPress and all kinds of code way, way longer than I've been personally. So I totally hear you.
Yeah.
So of course, and of course, this is a completely different shift for you, a good and interesting one. And you and I, see,
Mm,
got to know each other because of Vito
sure.
and Atrium. We are happy Atrium customers for like several years now.
Yeah.
And I can proudly say, like, it really helps save a lot of time when it comes to gathering
Oh,
client feedback and
crazy.
stuff, because it's just like leaving sticky notes. That's how I say. It's like putting
Sure.
posters on a refrigerator. It's the same way. So I
Exactly.
believe, I believe you are now launched or launching a new suite of AI features, and I would love to hear your
We're
thoughts about
in
that. And what are they?
we're in early access, and it brings a team of 6 to you. So it's great. It's a great thing because um, because of the AI, Vito and I launched Bertha AI in September 2021. So we were one of the
Okay.
first for a WordPress plugin and also in Chrome. It's very, very simple though, and
All
that's what I
right.
love about it, the simplicity, not looking to increase what it's doing, just maintaining and updating it. But with Vito's thoughts on AI, this is really driving us forward to say we're not actually bringing AI to Atarim. We're bringing Atarim into AI. Because
Ah,
it's
okay.
we've got lots of things. So basically, with the tools that Atarim has got, managing websites, maintaining them, creating them, getting passes from clients, getting comments in a timely manner. You know what it's like. You've been in this business for ages. When I first started an agency, it was taking me 6, 8, 12, 14 weeks to do a website. When I moved to WP Feedback, as it was then back in the day, and then now Atarim, my projects were literally cut down from 6 weeks to 7 days. Crazy,
Wow,
because of the
crazy.
communication. Communication was just spot on, and there was no confusion about what anybody wanted. It was a very simple tool for collaborators or for stakeholders to take hold of. But now with AI, from a developer perspective, what we've done with this AI agents that we've got in there, AI team workers really. We got Pixel, which is the UI and UX. So if you're a skilled web builder, you can build your website out and get Pixel to check whether whether the CSS is correct or the UI is correct, the navigation is all there. You've got Navi as well, which helps you with accessibility, tells you that things are missing or tells you that you really need to add an aria or whatever, or the spans are wrong. And when we're using so many different tools, you've got WordPress FSE, you've got all the page builders, you've got different website building tools as well with Wix and with Weebly and with Shopify and all that kind of stuff. Because we're agnostic with websites, we can use the AI to guide us around and make sure that we're not only consistent, but we're also um, advising you on accessibility, making sure that your UX UI is good, making sure that your SEO is great because we've got index on there as well. So that's your SEO helper. So if you're creative and not particularly good at SEO, you get index to check you out and say, "Yeah, okay, well, that CTA might be a bit too long,
Well,
or
that's
that
pretty
text
cool.
might be, whatever." Just very, very simply. Then you've got Lexi, who is that slightly annoying person that's a bit of a pedant, a bit pedantic, and says, "Well, this I've read this text on this. It's not isn't really consistent with your brand, or there's some spelling errors there, or make sure that you've replaced the lorem ipsum text or the dummy text that you put in,
Yes.
or it doesn't flow correctly and everything like that." So when you're looking at it, and then you've got my favorite, which is Glitch. Glitch is a character, right? He says, "Okay, you got a bad link here, buddy. Let's fix that." Or you've got the Villa.js code going because you've got access to the console, can read the matrix, and really advise you that you've maybe got a little bit of a coding issue as well. And then for the customer, so that's all developer centric. That's so that you do that once want to launch. So say you've built a website just before you send it to the customer, and this is the benefit. You check it out. You get 2,500 checks on your website on each page. So you do them each page individually, and you know that is as good as it can be. You then send the
Oh,
collaborate link to the
wow.
customer,
So let me
and
understand this.
then
Is it a QA expert? It's like a QA expert. Will it do like
well,
cross-browser
it's better than
testing
that.
or
It's
browser
yeah.
testing? Is it like that?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's better than that. It's better than the QA expert because they're not only checking that everything is right, they're also telling you how to correct it. So imagine the future
Ah,
when we get MCP and in WordPress, WP, CLI and all the kind of things that come in. Imagine in the future dream is to go
hmm.
is press a button and say fix it for me. But in the meantime, what we can do is Pixel will say your CSS is a bit off here, or your buttons aren't consistent with each other. The colors are different on this headline text, all those kind of things. Your spacing is a bit off, might not be great for mobile, might not be great for tablet, whatever it might be. And you've got the UI UX side, you've got the SEO side, so you know that it's as good as it can be before you send it to the customer. and that reduces the comments down from the customer because you've given them a pretty much perfect website and say, okay, this is great. They're not
Yeah,
going to argue
yeah.
with anything.
It,
They're
re-
just
it
going to say
reduces
maybe change this
friction,
image. Yeah,
reduces back and forth, saves time for developers, the project managers, because the project
yeah,
managers struggle the most because they're the in between the customer and their developers. Usually, that's how it works with agencies,
yeah,
especially of
correct. Yeah.
larger sizes. So I totally understand that. I'm excited to test this out personally. By the way, I noticed on the website this morning that it's only on early access. So it's like a small set you're testing with, and the public release is like going to be a few weeks, a few months.
Well,
How's it going?
one of the things. Well, let me finish about Claro, because
Mm.
Claro is the only teammate that the customer will see. So when a
Okay.
customer makes a vague comment,
Mm-hmm.
Claro asks them
Mm-hmm.
for clarification. Says, "Did you really mean that?" But yeah, on the early access. We have always been, Atrium has always been, I've been involved since 2019, with the
Mm-hmm.
team and all the kind of stuff, but just now
Of
it's
course.
about time I was on the payroll, right? So it's pretty cool from everybody's aspects. And the fact is that, I've represented Atrium for the last 6 years, and it's always been customer led. Tell us what you want. Do you think this feature is great? Is this something that you would like? All this kind of stuff. And then you get the feedback from if we go from the very early days of WP feedback to us. Tell us what you want. Tell us if you're seeing any glitches. Tell us if you're seeing any issues, and we'll fix them. And that's what it is about early access, because it's literally 2 months ago we couldn't have had this, maybe a month ago, because of the awareness of the LLMs. Now they've got visual awareness, text awareness,
True.
spacing awareness, matrix. They look back into the matrix. We have now got the ability to say this image is not right for this text. Do you see what I mean?
Hmm.
This is not right for that, and etc. So you've got the benefit of, as I say, these six teammates. But the whole point of it is that we don't know everything. We don't know every use case. We don't know every edge
I
case.
see.
So
I
early
see.
access, we're sending out to people that we know and love, and people that want to sign up to it. But the deal is feedback. Give us feedback. And then when we launch, it will be as good as it can be on
I love
launch.
it.
And that's the
I
key.
love
And
it.
to also invest in the future, because there'll be a little teaser there, nice little
My
incentive to
teammates,
get you
my
to sign up.
teammates, uh, my teammates at Seahawk Media, they got invites this morning, I think last evening this morning, and they were like, okay, we need to
Yeah.
get going on this and we need to start
You
experimenting
do.
with this
You
because
definitely do,
because
yeah.
we manage hundreds of projects, all over the world, and they're
I
very, very
think I think
excited to
thousands. I think you're
could
underplaying what you're
be,
doing. I think
could
you
be,
you
could
manage
be.
thousands. Yeah.
And they are really excited to test this out. They're really, really excited to
Yeah.
test this out. And we will give you brutal, good, honest, ugly, very good feedback of
Yeah.
all shapes and sizes.
Uh,
And I'm really
yeah.
excited about
That's that. Yeah.
which leads me to a burning question. Do you think adoption for AI agents when it's fully launched, will it be automated using YouTube tutorials, or there might be some handholding required initially? Because I'm sure you'll be charging an optional add-on fee for this, I believe. It's not publicly launched yet,
No,
so I
we're
don't
changing.
know.
We're changing our pricing completely. So
Okay,
it's basically you're buying a license. Every user will be an individual license. So you get a certain amount of tokens, and then you'll be able to do
I
pay
see.
as you go and everything. Because as I say, we're making per page 2,500 queries. It's checking 2,500 things, and it may be after we've done the early access situation, it may be 5,000 things. So we've got to be careful about what the way we cost, because, as you know, LLMs can be expensive. I remember when we first developed Bertha, and I was sitting there looking, and we were using OpenAI, and I was looking at the ticker going, and for 10 minutes, one of my developers had left it on a loop. And in 10 minutes, it cost me $1,000 until I changed the API key. And I was looking and going, I can't afford this. Stop, and everything. And we had at the time, I think we had 20,000, downloads on Bertha, and I was thinking I'm going to close that down. So we have to be careful with what we're doing in the back office of how we're talking to the LLMs, because there's not just one LLM. we're using. Obviously, we're using multiple LLMs,
Of
and
course, needless to
we
say.
have to make sure that we price it accordingly, but also fairly. We're a SaaS system now from and Chrome extension, which we've got to keep up to date, and a script that can go into any website, including WordPress, and a WordPress plugin. So we've got a lot of things that together that we've got to unify as well. That will happen
Mhm.
within a couple of weeks after the early adopters. And I think, to be honest, I don't think there's going to be much learning there because they're just so intuitive. You know that you can talk to them as well. Once you have a comment and you put that comment into your taskbar, you can
I
then have
see.
a conversation with these agents. How do you think it
I
would do
see.
that? I'm not sure about those words. Can you produce more, or whatever it is, or how do I correct this UI UX
Uh,
problem, or
I see.
anything like that? So
I see.
they're individual agents as well. And you can have conversations with
Oh,
them, which is.
are the agents going to talk to the other agents as well? Is that how it's
Yeah,
going to
they
work?
converse well. They kind of check. What happens is that they have a
Oh,
little
wow. That's
private
cool. That's
conversation.
cool.
So they
That's
don't you
cool.
don't see that conversation going on, but they do actually. That's a really good point because they do have. Oh, hang on a sec. Pixel, for instance, would. Hang on a sec, I just need to ask Navi something and just confirm with Navi on this because Navi's your accessibility. And I don't want to give you any advice. The thought process behind that, I don't want to give you any advice that will muck up the accessibility. And, again, with SEO, I don't want to give you any advice that will muck up the
Hmm.
UI UX. So, there are little conversations, and Lexi will be having conversations as well, saying, Pixel might say something about CTA, and Lexi will go, no, we need to leave that CTA there. And then Index will go, well, actually, it's not the right CTA because I've looked at the SERPs and I've looked at the equivalent of Ahrefs and SEMrush, and this CTA, this is the way we should word it, would work better. So all
I
those
love
kind
it.
of inner conversations of your inner circle, we're calling it the inner circle, basically. So yeah, they do converse with each other, and that's a good point. Who
I
told
like
you?
that.
Who
And this
told you
is
that?
only going to be, is it only going to be for WordPress, or it is going to be other CMSs as well?
Absolutely doesn't, not even CMS, even if you're looking at a straight HTML or somebody builds something in PHP, if it's a website with a URL and images as well,
Hmm.
we're looking at doing it as well
I see.
because it's got visual awareness. So say
I see.
you're looking at a Figma file, because we've got a Figma integration, and what that does, that converts the Figma file into an image.
True.
And obviously it's got to be able to examine that image and say, well, that's not right. You need to do this, that, or the other. But no, yeah, Shopify, Wix, any kind of web platform that will produce an end result of a page within a browser, that Atom is an appropriate tool to use for both feedback and for the agents as well. So yeah,
I see. I see. I think one thing which always comes to my mind is always with respect to SEO. Why WordPress is so popular, in the first place is also because of SEO. The moment you install,
sure.
Yoast all-in-one SEO, rank math, configure the right settings, implement the right metadata, and now because of your agents, it can even save a lot of time. Basically, that's what I'm understanding now. Because WordPress has always been, people choose WordPress is also because of SEO. It gets
Sure.
indexed like
Sure.
that if the settings are right, you've done hard work with content, etc. So I'm pretty excited about this and testing out, because at even our own website, Seahawk Media, we got thousands of pages and we keep on adding pages, reducing pages, etc. And we are like always like paranoid, especially me personally, about SEO. So I am pretty excited about that. So I think one thing which comes to my mind is that, because of AI and because of all the advancements which is happening in the, website and the WordPress and all this ecosystem. And this is a question which I ask every guest, okay? Like, where do you think is, WordPress gonna be in 5 years? Not 2 years, not 20 years, just 5 years. Are you bullish, bearish, or do you think other technologies are going to come up? And A10M is CMS agnostic. Now that's a cool part, So I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts about WordPress in 5 years? Your personal opinion?
I don't think it's going anywhere fast. I mean, it's only progressing. You've got the things with, you saw the announcement from Automatic that James LePage and his team, the AI team, are now
Mm,
going to be situated in an office.
mm,
So that because they need to be able to tap each other on the shoulder, not virtually. They need to be there because the conversations
mm.
happening very, very quickly. The asynchronous conversations don't work when you're dealing with something that's moving very, very fast. I mean,
Mm.
have you ever known a product or a service or a thing that moves at the speed of AI? It's literally moving at the speed of light. So I think that we will have more agentic stuff in
Mm.
WordPress. One of the things that we're doing in Atrium is having real-time collaboration as well. So with the AI comes the ability for us to say that Gautam is online, Andy's online, and they're both commenting on the same page, and I can see you. Then a comment comes up, and I can then immediately get into a conversation with you as well in real time, and I can see all the people collaborating on that particular page. That's difficult to do, let me tell you.
Mm.
WordPress are
Mm.
having a problem doing it, because we've got legacy stuff in WordPress. We've got
True.
other things, and this is why I think they talk about canonical plugins more than anything else. Because if you're going to bring AI into core, you're literally rewriting the core base because it needs to come
Good
along.
point.
This is why it's so important. Well, it's why it's so important to really align AI with WP CLI and the REST API as well, rather than MCP. MCP is great, and I've seen some fantastic examples of MCP working in WordPress, especially at CloudFest when they did a contributor day at CloudFest for WordPress. Well, the things that they were doing with MCP was quite incredible. But I think WordPress is going to concentrate on the REST API, which is a genius move, was a genius move back in the day because it connected all the dots. And I
Hmm.
think what WordPress will eventually be is more of a, let's think about Lovable. What's
Oh,
happening
I
in
love
Lovable? Now,
love
these
that
are my
technology.
comments. This is not Atrium speaking here. It's Andrew Palmer speaking here. But think about Lovable. Think about all the other AI building solutions that aren't WordPress. That's what WordPress will become in time. Now, the difficulty is, of course, is that it's a community-driven project. Yes, we have a leader, and yes, we have various leaders as well within the core. But I think and I'm not making any predictions. I don't know anything that anybody else doesn't know. But the way because I'm in the WordPress Slack and stuff, and I'm seeing people talking about these kind of things, and that's what I think over the next 5 years we're going to see WordPress become more of a. I've always regarded it as a platform, but it's going to become more of a platform. You'll be able to do more extraordinary things with it with the help of AI. And I think it will be the way that James the Page works is that he wants AI to be a help, not a hindrance. Very much my view as well. On when
I
we're
agree.
developing Bertha AI, I don't want it to take over, and that's why I'm so excited about what we're doing at Atrium because these new team workers. Literally, imagine how much it would cost to employ these people. It's 500,000 a year, 500,000 US
Mm.
dollars a year and more, especially if you're employing in the States. So
Yeah,
that you've
yeah.
got these
You can't even
helpful
afford QA.
agents.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Like a lot of
can't. You
agencies, I
can't.
know a
People,
lot of
yeah,
agencies,
yeah.
even in our early days, we did not have QA experts in our company. We had them like a lot later, once we crossed a certain threshold of revenues and we started getting some level of customers, we could not afford
Sure.
it. So it's true.
No, of
I
course you
totally
can't, because it's
understand.
one person doing it, and you can't really rely on user testing either, because people miss things, right? That's why you
So,
have proofreaders. Really, if you look at QA, you look back in the day, newspapers printing everything. And I remember once where somebody said to me, right, we need to reprint these 500,000 leaflets because we've written public without an L in it. And that's a printing error. I said, no, actually, that's a typographical error, and you signed off the artwork. So, thanks very much for that extra 500,000. And if you can figure that out, what that word was, then, that's quite hilarious. But that was actually a true story because somebody had signed it off as saying, yes, that's okay. But it was 2,500 words within this leaflet. They missed one word and had to reprint 500,000 leaflets. With WordPress and with web, you can correct a spelling error literally in a heartbeat. In the future, you won't need to because AI will correct that for you.
true.
Even if you're writing it from the heart and you're not using AI to write your content, AI will correct any spelling errors
I
or any
think so.
typographical errors or grammatical errors, and that's what we're aiming at with these guys. So yeah, I think that in 5 years' time, we will see WordPress being more of a really being seen more as a platform and being able to develop anything from apps to beautiful WordPress websites and beautifully flowing WordPress websites for whatever genre or niche you're in. And I'm really
I think
excited.
so also. I would love to see some
Mm.
sort of a lovable kind of tech inside WordPress's core, especially for
Yeah, it's coming.
starters. Is
Yeah.
Yeah, it is coming for sure. It's inevitable, you know. And somebody questioned me, I think last week when I was in India, I was visiting my family, and she's not very tech savvy, but she's like, "With I understand AI this much that it can replace your entire business. Like, why do people need you?" And I said, "Listen, the amount of queries for companies like us is only growing now. Okay, you still need a commander, a captain of the ship to steer things,
Yeah.
connect the domain, connect the hosting, make sure things are working, migrate 3,000 pages from an old Drupal HTML legacy build to a brand new core. There's just so much. Yes, you can look at this. Okay, look at this. Okay, you can create logos for free or $5 with AI and just download our files. But still, on Fiverr.com, this amount of searches and amount of people selling logo designs is only growing and booming, and there are people charging $500 and they have queues
Yeah.
for 3 weeks, 4 weeks for logo designs. It's
Yeah.
incredible. So everything,
And
people can
website
coexist.
migrations as well. Yeah, but
Yeah,
my
exactly.
migrations, I mean, one a part of our in my agency, I specialized in migrating very large websites.
Okay,
We're
wow.
talking 100 GB websites and products,
I see.
300,000 products and migrating those very quickly. Um,
Yeah,
SSH and whatever it was. But basically, AI will be able to do that. You'll be able to have it logged into your various things that you need to be logged into, and then you will say to AI, move this from point A to point B with all the
I
data.
see. I see.
That's a way away because that relies on bare metal servers, cloud servers, all of the things that Cloudflare and all of the CDNs that are around. It's AI can't just all of a sudden unify everything, and that's why we
Sure.
need the human touch. And I think that's why we're always going to be relying on the human touch because
I
we can
agree.
see what can go wrong. So yeah, AI is not going to take my job. AI is going to only improve my job.
I
That's
think
my
so.
view.
I think the WordPress ecosystem is right now roughly 40 to 43% of the internet. It's only going to grow. I don't know if it becomes 50% or 60% in 5 years, but I think it's only going to grow. You know, like Sundar Pichai, the Google CEO, he said the other day, he was questioned, like with ChatGPT, the rise of AI and LLM and some
Yeah,
other companies, where do you think Google searches are going? You know, what's going to happen? He said it's only increasing. It's
yeah.
not going down. It's only
No.
increasing. So I don't know what to tell you.
The people are searching in a different way. I think it's
Yes.
becoming. We don't want to become too lazy because it's easier to speak than it is to write or type or text. I can't stand texting. I just hate it because I've got fat fingers and it's just horrible.
True.
But then typing and everything. So I like to speak. So I'm looking forward to true speech search and getting it right because it doesn't because I've got a different accent to you, somebody else has got a different accent to me. You've got you've got a very strong French accent, you're speaking in English into an AI. It's not going to get it quite yet. It doesn't get my West Country
Mm,
of the UK. Sometimes my hard R's are really difficult to pick up, by search, vocal search. I'm hoping that it's going to be so easy to use the internet that we're actually going to make more use of our typing skills, of our cognitive skills, and our
true.
brains. People are saying, "Oh, well, it's just so easy to do anything. We're all going to get fat," and like that film where there was robots going around and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that's true. I think we're going to have more time to do the things that we enjoy and we're gonna have more time to actually develop the things that we want. Because, as I said, when you're doing what you love, what you're doing will love you back. And I think we're going to really start enjoying working with AI and with the benefits that
I
it
think so
gives us
also.
of the of the things that it does. I think it's
I
great. I'm
think
so
I think
looking forward
so.
to it. It's crazy.
Yes, and Atrium's 6 agents. Okay, these 6 agents is just a start. It's not even
Yeah.
publicly released yet. And what I'm understanding from you, in this conversation is it's already like a year or two in the future. So this is the first release. I wonder what's going to be the second, third, fourth, fifth release. That would be exciting.
Well, we
Ideally,
we kind of we kind of know.
yeah, I'm sure you must have a good roadmap for that, and I'm excited
Yeah,
to see that and test it out. We're coming up on time, so a couple of quick questions for
sure.
you. You, I know you're a regular visitor at WordCamps. I saw you at WordCamp Basel. Are you going to any other WordCamps this year? Portland, or are you there?
Portland. I'm going to Portland. Yeah.
Nice. I'm going to see
And
you there.
I'm
That's kind of
really,
cool.
yeah, I'll see you there. And
Uh,
I've been invited to a couple of dinners and stuff. So hopefully you've been invited to similar ones because we know very similar people in our business. But I'm looking forward to seeing people that I haven't seen for a good while because the last US WordCamp I went to was St. Louis, St. Louis.
okay. That was
So
before
that was
DC.
a while ago.
Yeah, that was well
No,
before
actually, I went
DC.
to DC. No, I forget. I went to Washington, DC. Yeah, of course I did.
Okay.
But I went, I
Hmm.
went to, I forgot which ones I go to first. Serbia was before London, then it was London, then it was Berlin, then it was whatever. I've been to since 2019, since 2018, I think I've been to loads of WordCamps. Then 2019 afterwards, that COVID, that kind of stopped it
I
all
am
going
I am
on.
already
But
I am already logged in my calendar for obviously Portland is logged and loaded, logged in my calendar for WordCamp Poland next year, and then WordCamp Mumbai, which is going to be the most exciting one because I have friends, family, colleagues in India.
sure.
So
I
lots
don't think I'm
lots
going to
happening.
Mumbai.
Oh, you have
That
to.
hasn't been, yeah, but I'm going
Inexcusable.
to, I mean, I know, but you'll have to have a word with my boss, unfortunately. Vito's the one that signs the checks. But I mean, I'd love to go to Mumbai because I can catch up with all the people that I know in
Yes,
India
true.
going. And I
True.
know loads of my developers were based in India and they're all going to Mumbai. So yeah, it's exciting. But I'm going to Domain Days in Dubai in October,
Oh,
CloudFest in
wow.
November, Portland at the end of next month, which is not far away now, is it? It's
Yeah, just a
in a
month from
month's
now.
time. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Almost three days in a month. But so yeah, it's exciting and traveling. But I've also don't forget, I've also got to do my job. I've got to sell stuff. So
Oh, I
in
know.
between
Listen,
all these lovely trips, I've got to earn some money for the company and
uh,
me. So that'll do.
I think the cool part about traveling is obviously you explore new cities and that's part of parcel of it. You get to meet new people and all of that, but it does affect your day work, your day routine, because it throws you off, the time zone throws you off, and you have to switch off,
Yeah.
switch on, switch off, switch off. You know exactly what I mean, but it's all
Yeah,
worth it.
well,
I think
Portland for me
um,
is 7 days out. I'm 7 days out, including the weekend. I'm 7 days away from the UK, and then I've got to come
yeah,
back and get jet lag and stuff like that and recover. But I met Ryan in Bazaar in Basel as well, which was great. And
yes,
all of
yes,
the people that we really like and get on with, and just want to do. We want to be friends first. That's what I love about the community. You be friends first, and you can
true.
build each other up, and you can encourage them and everything like that. So it's all about. So yeah, I'm going to try and get to Mumbai, but don't hold your breath.
Anyways, thank you so much for being on WP Legends. I'm looking forward to using, thank you for the early access because I'm really
Get
excited
on it.
about testing it out personally, experimenting it on my own site, my own
Sure.
seahawkmedia.com website, and our own other Seahawk properties, because that's the best
Sure.
way to
Yeah.
understand, to see what it actually is, and then have a full rollout for our customers and enhance their experience and hopefully save a lot of time for my project managers internally. I'm really looking forward to that with
I'm
Atrium's AI
looking forward to
agents.
that, and I'd love you to give us some when you do roll it out to give us some figures of what you think
Oh no, what I'm going to
of what
do
you
is
think you're
for
taking.
our viewers to know before I should tell you, like Andrew is just like a 40-minute car drive from me. So I'm going to just ring his bell and say, hey, this needs improvement, or hey, this is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Let's open up a bottle of champagne and let's celebrate.
brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah,
Well,
oh
thanks for having
yes.
me on. It's amazing.
Yes, and
You know,
and I think we are meeting in a week from now at WP London. Is that correct? Are you going to be there? or no? Are you
I
not
am going to.
around?
I am going to WP London. Yeah, I'll be there
Do you?
because Filter Agency, who are friends of mine as well, and all of the people, they've got a fantastic sense of humour. These people, I want to see them speak. Slightly take the mickey out of them, probably, and they're currently testing out Atom as well, so I'm going to beat them into submission.
Amazing.
You know,
I'll see you then.
that's the way we do it. See you then. Brilliant.
Thank you so much for being on my show. Thank you so much.